Folks, welcome back to another YouTube video here at Professor Vincent. So, today I was wanting to go over what we've done so far from our first video to now. So, our first video was December 11th, 2025, and today is January 29th, 2026. So, we will look at the numbers for all of the Pokemon sets from Sword and Shield up, and how they're doing so far. So let me get this moved over, and let's go over some numbers today. So we're going to start with Sword and Shield and go down and see how things are doing. So it looks like the total value for Sword and Shield has not moved that much. It actually went down. The booster box went up by like $60. That's really nice. The ETB went down $1, and then the pack price went down like 30 cents. So that shows, I guess, the booster box is holding up a lot better than the either pack or ETB. So it's really good to see. Rebel Clash, it went down in total value. It went up like $18 in the booster box. The ETB went down, and the pack went up by like 20 cents. So similar pattern there. And it looks like Rebel Clash finally, the booster packs finally went over the total value of that set. So really cool to see that. Darkness Ablaze looks like the total value dropped as well. The booster box actually dropped too. The ETB went up by $6, and the pack price went down. So I've said in most videos, like these sets right here are the ones that we're not wanting to do anything with. So that's good that we're not really into these. Total value for Champion's Path is at 526 now, so it went down $4. The ETB went up $10, and the pack price went up 70 cents. So that's okay there. Vivid Voltage went up like $16. The box went up $24. The ETB went down, and the pack price went down by 5 cents. So there's another one where the booster box went up. Shining Fates looks like total value went up by $6. The ETB went up by 14. The pack went up by a little over $1. So really, really cool to see. I guess it makes sense for specialty sets, is what I'm seeing here. Specialty sets are having a lot better growth on the pack and ETB side. So really good to see that. Battle Styles is at 712. So it looks like it went down in total value. The box went up by $20 or $13. ETB went up by like $5, and then the pack went up a little bit as well. So like 20 cents. So not too big of movement there. Chilling Reign. This is like a month and a half, so we're going off of numbers for a month and a half. But Chilling Reign looks like it went down $40 for total value. The booster box has been growing recently. The last video I did talk about why Chilling Reign booster boxes would be a good buy. If you're looking into Sword and Shield boxes, I think Chilling Reign is a good one to get into. It went up fairly well, like $120, about just about. Looks like the PC ETB has not moved at all. The ETB is up $4, and then the pack is up 11 cents. So not bad there, but the booster box seems again to outperform all the other items. So keeping that box sealed seems important. Evolving Skies looks like it dropped like $550. The booster box went up like 150. The PC ETB is at 850, so it went up like $8. The ETB went up $10, and the pack price went up $7, which is insane. So in a month and a half, you could have made $7 off of each pack, which I think is that's pretty insane. I don't know that percentage, but really good. Celebrations looks like it went up a little bit by like $60. Um, the PCETB did move. This is the first one that we've seen kind of move a little bit more. Went up by like $50. ETB went up like $28, and the pack went up by like $1. So that's really cool to see. Fusion Strike went down a little bit in the total value. The booster box went up by $100, which is nice. Pokemon Center ETB went up by like $10. The ETB made $5. The pack made like $16. So nothing too crazy there. Brilliant Stars went down $20. The booster box went up by $75. The Pokemon Center ETB like $2. The ETB went up by like 14, which is really nice. And the pack went up by like $2. Really good to see Brilliant Stars moving a little bit. I do own some of the Brilliant Stars packs, so really cool to see that. Astral Radiance stayed about the exact same. The booster box actually went down, so it went down about $20. Interesting. The PC ETB went down as well by like $20, and the ETB went up like $4, and then the pack price went down just a little bit. So interesting on the Astral Radiance. Not something that I'm looking too much into. The booster box did go down, so interesting there. Pokemon Go stayed basically the exact same. The Pokemon Center ETB went up by $12. We have about $8 gained on the ETB as well, and then the pack price went down like 20 cents. Here, Lost Origin, we the total value actually went up by about $100. The booster box made $50. The Pokemon Center ETB went down for Lost Origin by like 25. Interesting. The ETB went up by 16, and the bundle went up by about $9, and then it's like $1.60 for or $1.70 for a pack. So not too bad for Lost Origin. Silver Tempest, we went down about $30, $32 for the total value. We went up by $28 on the booster box. The Pokemon Center ETB stayed the exact same. The ETB went up by $13, so that's really nice. Bundle went down, and the pack went up by 50 cents. So nothing too crazy there. Crown Zenith. So Crown Zenith up $40 for total value. The Pokemon Center ETB went down, and the regular ETB went up by like $40. The bundle went up by like $28, and the pack went up by like $2. So lots of movement for Crown Zenith right now. Just weird. The Pokemon Center ETB went down. I don't think the Pokemon Center ETB for Crown Zenith had any like Pokemon Center cards in it. I'm pretty sure that was Scarlet and Violet. But let's get into the Scarlet and Violet. Overall, pretty good for Sword and Shield. I think it's only a month and a half, so not too crazy movement. But like $7 on a pack for Evolving Skies is pretty substantial, I think, in a month and a half. So we'll see where Evolving Skies continues to go from here. It's going to be exciting to see. Now let's get into Scarlet and Violet. So Scarlet and Violet, the base set went up. The total value went up by like $1. The booster box made like $45. Pokemon Center ETB went down like $8 or $6. The ETB went up about $10, and the bundle went up $3, and the pack by $1. So really interesting there, right? So after this, I'm gonna have to look and calculate why um, this is happening, right? So the bundle went up $3, and there's there's 6 packs inside, right? But the pack went up by $1. So either the pack is higher than it's supposed to be, or the bundle looks like it could be. I'll be looking into see which better is the play. I still don't do bundles really, but just the numbers seem a little off if we're gonna make $1 off of each and there's $6 going into it. But I'm not really buying Scarlet Valley base, so let's move on to Paldea Evolved. So Paldea Evolved made $30 on the total value. The booster box made about $55. The Pokemon Center ETB went down by $90. $90 loss on the Pokemon Center ETB. The ETB for Paldea Evolved went down as well by $14. The bundle went up by $5, and the pack went up by $2. So very interesting to see how this has been playing out. The box went up. The Pokemon Center ETB, which I thought was really nice, went down actually, and then the ETB went down. So don't know exactly why it's doing that. I know it's around that 2-year mark, so lots of movement is happening to that set. Obsidian Flames now went up by $20 for total value. We have $2. It made $2 on the booster box. The Pokemon Center ETB went down like $100 too. Interesting. The ETB is the exact same. The bundle went up $1, and then the pack price went up by 15 cents. So not too much for Obsidian Flames, which I would expect there's not too much going on. But you did take a hit on the Pokemon Center ETBs, which is like the only thing really valuable for the set. So do I think this could be a buy? Maybe. Maybe. 151. So 151 went up by like $90. The PCETB is up $8 now, and the ETB is back at 424, y'all. 424 for the 151 ETB. We are on the rise for 151. Loving it. The bundle made like $20, so not bad. The pack also made $2, so kind of correlates together on that. Paradox Rift, lost about $20 worth of value. The booster box went up by $13. The Pokemon Center ETB it looks like they took some hits in the Scarlet Violet area. It lost $10. The ETB stayed the same. The bundle went up by $2, and the pack price went down by like 20 cents. So interesting to see for Paradox Rift. Don't know if these numbers are exactly fitting together. But it is interesting to see that the PCETBs are going down a little bit for the start of Scarlet Violet. So now Paldean Fates. So Paldean Fates at 1552, it went down like $90. The PCETB went up by like $3. The ETB for Paldean Fates went up by $50, so that's really nice. The bundles went up by like $19. The pack price went up by $2. So really nice to see some gains there. It is right at the 2 years, so expecting that movement to start happening more. Temporal Forces went down by like $8 or $6. Booster box went up by $1. The Pokemon Center ETB went down by $19. It seems like we're having a similar trend on the Pokemon Center ECBs. I do know for 151 it was at like 1,000 at one point. Now it's back down to the 868. So interesting there. The ETB stayed the same. The bundle lost $2 and the pack went up by 50 cents. So interesting there. Twilight Masquerade. This is where we got in really heavy. Was Twilight Masquerade. Uh, we lost some value, like $30. The booster box staying strong, up by $16. The Pokemon Center ETB went down by 35, and the ETB went up like $8. The bundle went up by $2, and the pack price went up by a couple, like 30 cents. So nothing too crazy, but the booster box has held well, so that's really good. Shrouded Fable lost like $4 in total value. The Pokemon Center ETB has went down as well by like four or like $8. ETB, the ETB went down by 10 cents. Bundle went down by $4. The pack went down as well by $1. So I do remember talking about telling people to sell their Shrouded Fable, because I just don't. Shrouded Fable is a really rough set for people to buy. If you can have someone, if you Christmas time was probably the best time to sell all of the Shrouded Fables because not everyone understands just the math and what they're buying. So they wanted their kids for they want their kids to open up some packs. This was the time to sell their Shrouded Fable, right? Maybe next Christmas. Maybe next Christmas. Stellar Crown, 407 to 416. So this is like the first one that actually, or second, third, that set that's actually went up. So really nice, by a little bit, about $9. The booster box made $13. The Pokemon Center ETB actually made $4. So really cool to see that. ETB went down by $4. The bundle went up by about 70 cents, and the pack went up by 70 cents. So interesting there. Surging Sparks went down in value by about $50. Booster box went up by about 20, and the Pokemon Center we're sitting at about $11 loss there. And then the ETB looks like the ETB for Surging Sparks went up by $7, and bundle stayed about the same, and the pack made $30 or 30 cents. $30 would be insane. Prismatic. Okay. Prismatic had a $260 loss. The Pokemon Center ETB is up by $40. The ETB is up by $25. The bundle is at 66, so it made $7, and the pack went up by $1.50. So really nice here. I really think Prismatic Evolutions is the set to do. We're finally seeing some gains. On Prismatic Evolutions. I love to see it. I'm heavy into Prismatic Evolutions, so good to see that I'm making some money, right? Off of just sitting there. But where do I see this going? I think, and well, I think, and I know that a lot of streamers, they're selling the most that they're selling is in Prismatic, and so people are ripping the most Prismatic, and eventually, they're not going to be able to produce Prismatic Evolutions because they have so many newer sets to release, right? And I think we're already having a problem with that. And so I think the community is finally understanding that, Prismatic is at a very low point especially with 151, which was like the next highest at 424 in ATB. So that's the number that we want to see for Prismatic. We wanted to get there. But next, Journey Together lost like $60. The booster box actually lost $1. So Interesting. The Pokemon Center ETB lost $10. The ETB made $2. The bundle lost $5, and the pack went up by like 30 cents. So interesting for Journey Together. There's not much happening there. Destined Rivals. Destined Rivals, we have um, a loss of the total value of like $200, and the booster box actually is up really high. Something is happening with Destined Rivals right now, y'all. Destined Rivals is just performing very well. I do know a lot of streamers, they are selling a lot of Destined Rivals, and it feels like there's not enough out there, or there's a lot of people holding onto Destined Rivals right now. So there's just not a lot on the market, right? We're kind of waiting. I think once it's consistently selling in the 500 range for a couple weeks, then a lot more people are going to want to sell at that point. Because it's just $500 for a box. I was getting boxes um from people for like 100. I got mine at like 173. Like that's awesome. The gains on my Desert Rebels is doing phenomenal. My booster boxes. The Pokemon Center ETB went up like $15. Um, the ETB is 152 a box, so it made like $27. The ETB, the ETB for Destined Rivals is 12 $14 more for Destined Rivals, which I don't agree with. I'm not buying any ETBs right now because I really just don't see it doing what it's doing. I don't see a box right out of the gate being at $500. I don't. It's very risky and scary for me to invest into a box like that. So I'm really just trying to hold off on the Destined Rivals. Black Bolt and White Flare looks like lost like $170 for total value. The Pokemon Center ETB lost like $2. The ETB lost like $2. The bundle lost $1, and the pack lost $1. But just as expected, for like the newer sets, everything should be dropping like later on. So these were released a while ago. White Flare is lost like 160 total value. The Pokemon Center ETB is up though. Pokemon Center ETB is at 154, so it made like $27. The ETB made like $3. The bundle made like $4, and the pack went down. So interesting to see that the total value dropped a little bit, but everything else really had a jump except for the pack. So interesting to see there. This is another good one to talk about. The Mega Evolutions. We finally saw it hit the chunk. So it seems that the gold cards, no one wants those gold cards. They're not, apparently, it seems they're not stylish enough. People don't like just all gold. So they're just not the cards to hit. They made them super hard to hit, but no one wants them, so it drops the value of them all, right? So it seems that people aren't caring about like the hit pool rates. They're really just caring about the art and the look. So it's great to see because people care about the artwork, and I think it's super awesome, and it's something that this hobby brings is just good artwork and something that people can enjoy to look at. But with Destined Rivals, we lost like 1,500 on the total value. The box went down by $2. The Pokemon Center ETB went up by $2. The ETB went down by like 5. The bundle went down by 2, and the pack went down by $1. So not doing anything crazy with Mega Evolutions. Kind of just holding what I have now and just waiting. Um, like I said, we're still figuring out what we think about the gold cards. If the gold cards, start doing well, then I'm sure Mega Evolution is going to do well over time as well. But it's still the highest total value set a base set has ever seen. So I think still something to think about. Still better than Phantasmal Flames, I think. But Phantasmal Flames looks like it lost like $70. The box went down by $14, and Pokemon Center ETB is starting to level out 178. The ETB lost like $15. Bundle lost $4. Pack lost $1. Right? It's expected to have the newer sets to drop because right when they release, they're just a little inflated. So no worries there. But this was the rundown of basically um, December 11th was when we started the channel to today, January 29th. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like and comment on the video. And if you're not already, please subscribe. Y'all take care. Have a good night.